Alright, vlog number 9. This is actually vlog number 8, part 2. But today, speaking of numbers, I've got 7 tips for you to build your YouTube audience. So, 7 tips today. Here we go. We've even built a little presentation thing for it here. Number 1, make content for the people. If you've ever watched the movie Moneyball, you know that it's more important to get on base in baseball than it is to hit home runs. And I think too many people that are swinging for the fences are the ones that are having a real big problem. They're trying to make something go viral, they're trying to have something that has a massive amount of views, and in reality what they're forgetting is that the most views on your channel comes from your audience. So you got to build the audience. So build the content for the people, don't build the content for the views. Speaking of the people, having an audience means that there's someone who's constantly engaged. So being able to have someone constantly engaged means you need to give consistent content. Make sure that you're providing content on a regular basis, whatever your schedule happens to be. Whether you're looking at something monthly, weekly, or daily like this vlog, this is something that people need to be able to understand and expect. Next, recurring content. So speaking of expectations, recurring content, whether it's different characters, whether it's different gigs, whether it's different snippets, whatever you have that you can layer in on a regular basis is something that people can look forward to and expect. I think the best example for me and Jeanette when we're watching Jimmy Fallon are the things that he does at the beginning of each episode. His thank you notes on Fridays, and they're hilarious, but it's something that we've come to expect on Fridays. Having the recurring content also allows you to split up all of the videos that you've created on there and be able to segment and create different playlists for the different topics that you have. So coming back to content for the people, this is also something where you can create even more expectations. When somebody does like one video, instead of just having them watch whatever else comes next, YouTube is smart enough to actually relate similar content within that playlist. You see the autoplay button that's always checked off, and this is actually something that works really well and works in your favor as a content creator. And pick out some characters. One of my favorite examples of this is Lily Singh having her parents give their reaction videos to things that are obviously in a generation gap or a culture gap. Hilarious stuff. Casey Neistat's doing his Q&A. Always have great expectations for that. And one of the most successful ones I've seen is Casey's mail time. The amount of stuff that he gets sent, the shout outs that he gives, it's great. And we'll actually come back to that down the road later in this video. On to the next. Branding matters. So typically within branding, you think about someone's brand logo, their brand mark. You think about Nike's swoosh. You think about the apple of Apple. You think about the logo that associates with that brand. But that's not just everything that has to do with the brand. Branding in itself comes to the voice of the brand. It includes what things look like overall within design guidelines and standards. And in the case of video, it can come down to formatting, the design of the storyboard, the way that you film, how that you do it, including your style, even what you're filming on, where you're filming, the type of things that you're doing. All of this builds the brand of what people come to expect. So that in a snapshot, you're able to actually see within a 5-second video, 10-second video, 20-second video, even if it's 10 minutes long, you're able to instantly understand and recognize. The idea with building a brand is to build constant recall. You want to be able to have someone look at something and say, I know that's Chris Milton. I know that's Nike. I know that's Apple. And this is one of the hardest things for people to duplicate. They can try, but with your brand constantly evolving and staying within your style, you know that it's something that you can stay way ahead of the curve. And that really works in your favor. Next, a lot of people forget that YouTube is a social media platform. While it's a great place to publish videos, and it works as a great way for you to share videos and have them embedded into other content, we see this in a lot of blog posts and articles and websites that the videos hosted on YouTube, primarily it's social. And in reality, all I want to say here is say hi. One of the best introductions I remember seeing or hearing was Gary Vaynerchuk on his channel actually saying, when you subscribe, send me an email and say hello and tell me why you subscribed and why you're following. He's actively being social. It's not just a place to dump your videos. Part of the metrics that you see on higher ranking videos is they have a lot of comments. The comments is what majority of people see as interaction, but it doesn't just end there. You see a lot of different vloggers that are doing Q&A. You know that comes from sending a message to the creator, sending the message to the channel. You can interact. The message board on the back end for users of YouTube is something that a lot of people don't know about or ever use, and it's extremely powerful to be able to interact and engage. Being able to understand that this is a social network kind of changes the way that people look at things, and this is also one of the reasons why YouTube has grown so much and so fast over the time that it has been around. Next, so say hi, by the way. Optimize for search. YouTube is owned by Google. There's no mistakes about that. Google is the biggest search engine. We're doing this video to try to grow our audiences. Now, we know that this audience is going to be coming from places that we aren't already existing. So what I mean by that is you can't expect that if you have 10 subscribers to be able to have those 10 subscribers watch 1 million views, unless it's over a long period of time where you've created thousands of videos. What's going to happen is your new audience is going to come from outside of those existing people. To get those existing people, they're looking for things. They're looking for entertainment. You're providing entertainment or knowledge or education. Being able to have things working in the video as well as in your description as well as within your title and your tags are all things that are aligned with search terms is something that will boost the rankings of your video and will start to gain a lot of traction. Once Google recognizes that people are interacting with your video positively based on the terms that are there, then you'll start seeing your rankings come up higher. Search engines predominantly look at words. It's easiest to search for words because we type in words. We don't drop in a photo or a video and say, find me this, because if you already have that photo or that video, you don't need to find it again. But we as humans search with words, and that's how things are crawled. So be very aware of what you're creating and what it's actually saying so that you can post and include those words within your topics and within your descriptions. So be mindful of SEO tips because YouTube is a search engine primarily as well. The things you see on your homepage are ranked. They're ranked based on what you look at, what you've been watching before, and what's recommended based on your previous watching habits, because all of those patterns are valuable to the search engines to understand, and it's valuable to you as a creator to be able to leverage a lot of those trends. All right, next up. This one is pretty obvious. Look at what the successful YouTubers have done already. Every single person that I come across, regardless of the type of content they have, the type of background they have, where they're located in the world, it's a lot you can learn from them, both on how they interact with their audience, the type of videos that they make, the type of topics that they cover, the time frame that they publish, the length of videos that they have, the different elements that they include. Learn from what they do. You don't have to copy them, but break down what they're doing into the nuts and bolts so that you can understand what's within your own skill set that you can do yourself. This, just to repeat myself, is not saying go copycat. You don't want to be copycatting. You want to be able to see what's working for the top people that you can do already. So one of the things that I know is really frustrating as anyone who's a creator is knowing that when you start being copied, you know you've done something right. And it's extremely frustrating. But on the other hand, the inspiration is just as close. So when you see that one-off videos are working, and as you can see with my first 8 videos and including this 9th one, I'm playing around with a lot of styles. I'm trying to find my style. I'm trying to figure out what my skills are, and every video is something where I'm trying different things while I'm editing. I'm trying different things while I'm filming. I'm thinking about different topics that can be covered, and that's part of the reason why this is an extension of yesterday's vlog. I'm really kind of disappointed with vlog number 8 because it seems like it got cut off and got cut short. But in reality, the quality of this content today, by breaking it up, is much better because 24 hours later, that time was needed in order for me to get all of this together and be able to have a blog post that follows it as well. So you can check it out, chrismilton.ca/vlog009, and it'll have all of this with examples that you can read and follow up and hopefully use as a reference in the future. So I guess that's my plug, hoping that shortly I will be one of these. Oh, by the way, notice that point is getting better at that, pointing at things. Yeah, trial and error, practice, practice, practice. And point number 7, encourage engagement and reward it. So I mentioned earlier in the episode with Casey Neistat's mail time. It's crazy to see how much stuff he gets in the mail and how long it can take for him to go through everything. And it's really cool that you can literally appear in the vlog as a shout out by sending Casey something that he likes and he happens to open it on the episode. Now, I'm sure he doesn't get to everything because he has over 3 million subscribers, but that's an example of encouraging engagement both within and beyond the channel, because obviously snail mail is not the same as leaving a comment on YouTube, but the reward is there as well. Being able to have your product showcased, being able to have the letter that you sent or the artwork that you sent showcased is actually really amazing. So there's a lot of things that you can do to just make someone's day. So I was watching a video as part of the research I was doing with this about building an engagement with your audience, and I was watching Ingrid Nielsen in the video that's been posted, and she talked about how having a comment from a really successful YouTuber about something you're doing as an up-and-comer was a huge source of motivation and inspiration, and she hears it back from a lot of her fans as well. And I think that's something as well, that this recognition and reward is something that doesn't have to cost you anything extra. While it's really easy to partner up with a brand and do a giveaway, and that's something that would be really great and really fun to do in the future, sometimes a shout out is more than you can ever ask for. It's the intangible things. People running into you on the street while you happen to have your camera out because they want to be included in your video. Those are things that are extremely powerful because there is a level of stardom that is being built with a lot of these YouTube subscribers and followers. These are 7 great tips. That's it. I'm done. Now it's time to go back to apply them. These things are 7 tips that I've figured out to date. I'm 9 vlogs in, and these are things that I'm going to be applying as I build my channel. So let me know how they work for you, and I'll be doing an update of this down the road if there's anything that needs to be amended, or even just touching in on how everything actually worked. So here's to the next. I'll see you tomorrow.